I have made a 101 YouTube videos. And do you know what? I was thinking about planning something special for my 100th video. And when I looked back on my channel, I was like, oh, last week was number 100. I didn't realize, right? I just uploaded it. Do you know what? I've learned a thing or two. I may not have learned how to scale a YouTube channel or how to be successful with social media, but I have learned three important things. And we're going to cover that in today's video. Let's go get a coffee and then let's catch up on these things. And I'll fill you in on what I learned. Let's go. Coffee acquired. I've pitched up in this nice scenic environment to cover point number one, that consistency is key. When I first started, I don't know how long ago it was now, maybe over 5 years ago. And I started and I did a chunk and then I stopped for a long period of time and then I came back. And I had actually stopped at a time I lost my job, the last time I had a job. And I stopped because it was kind of, shit hit the fan in my life. So, and in that time, since when I stopped and then started again, I built my first 2 companies and I wish I had documented it, right? Because it would be so good to look back on. But when I started again, I made the promise to myself that I was going to do it for 1 year solid, right? 1 year solid. And I did. I think when I first started, I thought I would get loads of new followers or like have 10,000 subscribers and have 10,000, 20,000 views on every video. And that's just not the case, right? It's not the case. What I did learn, or one thing that I did get out of it, was just this, like, because I'd made that promise to myself, this consistency is like really important. And funnily enough, the more consistent I am, the better the results tend to be, depending on what you define as like good results, right? So I've always said it, I've not always said it, but like certainly since I restarted doing YouTube, I've said it, that the numbers really aren't that important to me. I'm doing it for different reasons. I'm doing it because I want to document my life. I want something to look back on. There's been lots of situations in my life, like the time I was just talking to you about, where I've looked back and I have no pictures, no videos, nothing of like my experiences. And it's almost like my memory is bad too. So it's almost like I've got all this life which has just disappeared. Having videos or pictures to look back on are great. I get on my girlfriend's case because she's always taking pictures of things. And I get annoyed because when I'm out and about, I tend not to take pictures. I tend not to take videos. My phone stays in my pocket a lot of the time. And actually, do you know what? As much as we all hate those people that film everything, it is good to look back on things. I think it depends on the motivation as to why you're doing it. Are you doing it because you're trying to flex on people, or because you're trying to I see people on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, and they're trying to monetize everything. Are you doing it because of that? Or are you doing it because you're just documenting things? I wouldn't describe myself as the most consistent person, but there are areas of my life where I have been consistent. And funnily enough, those are the areas which are my strongest. So for example, training. I've been incredibly consistent with training over the years. And now at 42 years old, I'm in better shape than most people. And it's like, oh, funny, that paid off. In business, I've been like consistently hanging in there. Current business is over 5 years old now. And you know what? It's going strong. And it's like, oh yeah. And the YouTube thing, I've been consistently doing it for a year now. As you'll see from my other points on the video, the results aren't what you would imagine. But working that consistency muscle, I think, is really important. And that's kind of, I guess that ties into it. Consistency is a skill that you acquire, and you have to do it in order to acquire it. That's what I've found anyway. The more consistent I am with things, the better I get at being consistent. Does that make sense? You let me know. One of the second things that I learned was that what I expected to resonate or for the audience to enjoy was not really what they were interested in. I'm into lifestyle, right? And I'm into my classic cars, Land Rovers, watches, and I'm into I pay a bit of attention to what I wear, and I like nice clothes. And those things people really picked up on. That's what people like, right? Which I think is that lifestyle stuff. I think that people enjoy seeing someone who knows what they like and enjoys it. And I think in today's day and age, there's a lot of people out there and they're kind of doing things that they think they should be doing. But when you get to my age, you don't do that. You don't follow trends or dress in a way that you think you should. You don't, I'm not interested in the cars, hobbies, watches, or any of that stuff that other people are. You very much find your own sense of identity. As someone in his 40s, I think that you get your own a strong sense of identity, a stronger sense of identity that you had when you were younger. And I think that comes across. I've had people comment a lot of the time about authenticity and that I come across as very authentic. I think what people are actually seeing is that as you get a bit older, you just kind of know what you like. Do you know what I mean? You know what you like. And I like seeing people who know what they like as well. And it's kind of like there's an unapologetic thing about it. Like, I like old cars. I like old Land Rovers. I don't care if it's cool or not. The things that the audience picked up on, I think are quite positive things. And I actually lean into them a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I do lean into it more. Lifestyle has always been mega important to me. But when people started picking up on my personal style, for example, I started leaning into it a little bit more and actually just enjoying it more. It used to be a bit of a guilty pleasure for me, but it's just not guilty anymore. You can start a YouTube channel or whatever it is you'll start doing with the intention of this is what you're going to talk about but really you don't know where it's going to end up. And I think you have to be open-minded enough. And that's why I still experiment a lot on my channel, right? You don't go into things because you think you've got it figured out. You should always go into things with an open mind and the sort of attitude of, I wonder what I'll figure out. I wonder what I'll learn. I wonder what I'll learn about myself. I wonder what I'll learn about the process. I wonder what skills I'll pick up along the way. What I thought would resonate, what I thought people would be interested in is absolutely not what people are interested in. Lean into what you love, I guess, is the lesson there. The third and final thing that I learned from uploading 100 YouTube videos is that creativity is really important. Before I started doing the YouTube stuff, I was working with a coach called Chris, and he challenged me to film myself on my phone and upload a story talking to the camera every day for a week. And I remember we were on a call and he said, and he challenged me to do it there and then. And man, I was so nervous about doing it. And I remember when I uploaded my first YouTube video, I was super nervous about doing it. I think it was the fear of being judged. I didn't want to be judged. And because I knew that people who know me will ultimately take the piss. It's a very British thing, right? To be like, oh, what the fuck does he think he's doing? Man's making YouTube videos, thinks that he's important. Listen, those people are just dicks. Those are the kind of people, they're never going to do anything, right? And they are going to criticize you and judge you for doing things. I have learned to just enjoy doing something creative because it's creative with no real agenda in mind. But I did get something out of it, right? What I got out of it was this skill. What I'm doing right now is a skill. Like being able to communicate via like a camera or something like that is a skill that you have to acquire. And no one's first YouTube videos are good. Like if you go back and look at my first one, it's pretty crap, you know? I mean, it wasn't the worst, but it's pretty crap. And I think I've gotten better. And I think that as you do something, you get better. This is a great skill that I've then plugged into my business. If you want to do the content game, you have to take a long view on it, I think. I think people who think they're going to start posting online and that's somehow going to transfer itself to like money and growth, I think that's really short-sighted. I think you have to do it with the view of, I might acquire some skills, I might learn some things about myself, and if I'm lucky, it might have some sort of result for me. I do think that one thing that I've been guilty of in the past is only doing things and expecting a certain result. I'm only doing this to make money. I'm only doing this to build an audience. I'm only doing this to, you know what? And what I'm doing here has not been that. It's been something else entirely. What I expected or hoped to gain from it, I didn't. I got something else completely. And that's cool too. I'm someone who is very outcome focused, right? So usually when I go into things, I know what I'm trying to get out of it. And I belligerently just go at it until I get what I want. And this has brought about a different side of me, I suppose. And it's kind of, I don't want to sound cheesy, but it's kind of nurtured a different side of me, which is that creative element, which, you know, is a big part of who I am. You know, I used to be a musician and I used to just make music for the love of it. And then at some point in that journey, it became about selling records and selling tickets and all this kind of stuff. And then you kind of lose the reason why you started in the first place. That being said, I have to wrap this video up and I have to get it uploaded so I can keep my promise to myself of uploading a video every week. If you've enjoyed this video or if you found it in any way useful, then please let me know in the comments below or hit the like button. It does help me. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please make sure you subscribe because I throw up one video every week and I experiment a lot on this channel. Guys, that was it. 100 YouTube videos worth of knowledge distilled into 3 as concise as possible lessons. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.